Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from Kiss 106 and 103GBFRocks.com. Here with my tag team partner in podcasting, the best in the world, Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning. Shane McMahon on all the shows.
You know what I realized? Last week was a really good week for me to miss watching wrestling, even though I did catch up. But
so would have been this week.
Well, you recapped the episodes so wonderfully, and so many of the post universe missed those shows, that it was really fitting to just have like a recap episode like that.
I was recapping for everybody, and everyone was very complimentary. I always get very self-conscious that I'm going to forget important things or leave out details or not be funny. But
you did a killer job. Not only that, it was like if you missed the show, which a lot of people did, it was a really efficient way of watching it, getting opinions of how it was, and you were entertaining. You did a great job.
I'll say this, though. If I end up being the only one watching Raw and SmackDown and having to recap it for you suckers, I want money because I'm not going to be the only one that suffers through some of this garbage.
I'm not going to make you do that, pal.
Holy cow. Raw wasn't as much of a slog as I thought SmackDown was. I'll just go ahead and say it.
I agree. Raw was, I would say, bad to average, and SmackDown was bad, in my opinion.
They're falling into why you didn't like the brand split. As you said, you have the whole roster, just use them, spread out the stories, and instead of seeing it as like 3-hour Raw and a 2-hour SmackDown, look at it as 5 hours of television and weave your stories in and out that way.
Yes.
Which I'll never be able to argue with. That is the best way to do it. The reason I like the brand split is because I knew that they couldn't do that properly. They couldn't execute what you were saying well, and it's turning out to be the case, because here they go. I mean, the wild card, and they're bleeding into one another, and SmackDown is turning into what it used to be, which is like a Raw repeat.
Yeah, and now it's in this strange gray area of, does the brand split exist or doesn't it?
Well, did you hear the Kevin Owens line on Raw? Did you pick that up?
Which one? I remember the Charlotte one.
Well, no, the one where he said, because I'm a wild card, whatever that means.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is it's not consistent. But I also want to say that while it is stupid and poorly executed, it's still better than a brand split.
Yeah, just admit that there's no brand split anymore, because now you're not even having wrestlers surprise show up. Miz is a Raw wrestler, and you have Miz TV on SmackDown and Raw. What's happening? Spread it out a bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like wrestlers kind of have their home base, but they're allowed to go on either show. And again, while it's weird, I still think it's better than where we were.
I agree. I just don't think we needed 2 Miz TVs back to back.
Doesn't bother me. I like Miz.
I like Miz too, but there's other stuff to do. I don't know. That whole segment, the 30 minutes of it, Shane McMahon again. Oh my God. Well, the only thing I liked from that segment was Miz's shirt with his dad on it. It said, "My mood."
I didn't mind that segment. I don't know. Breast in the world, pest in the world. It was kind of catchy.
So I guess we should start with Raw, like in chronological order, or at least try our best.
Yeah, wherever you want to start works for me.
Well, Seth Rollins comes out, and he cuts Seth Rollins promo. That's pretty good. And then Baron Corbin comes out, and they've found a way to make this Baron Corbin-Seth Rollins match a little more interesting with the guest referee. Sami Zayn then comes out.
Adding Sami Zayn to anything makes it much more unpredictable.
The problem that Sami Zayn has, and I love Sami, and I've come around on him much more, and I enjoy when he's on my television. But I noticed it at the end of Raw. When they have him in the referee role, the official role, he looks like a referee. Like
Brittany caught the end of it, and she's like, "Why is Seth Rollins attacking the referee?"
He looks like an official. He doesn't. remember when like Ken Shamrock was an official? It just looked like jacked up Ken Shamrock in a striped shirt. This is not the case. He looks like some of the officials are in better shape than Sammy.
That's true.
So
well,
that's
one of my same thing with Kevin Owens, and the fact that if I see 7 guys every day that look just like Kevin Owens.
I know. That's why I love him so much, because I can be him for Halloween every year. I just have to cut the sleeves off.
You've got enough shirts.
I love Kevin Owens shirts.
Man, I love Kevin Owens. Him and Sammy this week, along with Bray Wyatt, to me stood out as being the highlights of the week.
I loved KO and Sammy being added to it, and you're right. I think Bray Wyatt is the highlight of the week again. What did you name today's episode?
I named it Bray Wyatt Eats Ramblin' Rabbit on Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, sure. Rest in peace, Ramblin' Rabbit. Now I wonder, because is he dead? Because Mercy ate him once before and then just stitched him back up. I wonder if Ramblin' Rabbit's just constantly going to just keep dying. He's like Kenny on South Park.
I haven't even thought about it. And to be honest, I kind of forgot that he died the first time, or at least I guess I interpreted that more as an attack, I guess.
Right. I got a lot to say, dude. It's not cool to eat your friends, no matter how hungry you are. In fact, I don't feel safe. I think it's time that I expose what's going on at the Funhouse.
It seems like it's going to go somewhere soon.
It's heating up.
Yeah, it's getting hot.
It's heating up. Bray Wyatt is killing it. I just hope that when it gets to the ring, it's good still.
Okay, I feel safe that it will be good. I just hope it gets booked well.
Dear Vince, Bray Wyatt has to win matches.
Yeah,
he has to win matches.
It has to be booked consistently. He doesn't have to win every match, but we've got to treat him like he's somebody different.
I mean, this is going to end up hopefully being what the Demon was supposed to be, because sometimes you get like Arthur Fonzarelli, Finn Balor in his leather jacket, and then sometimes you get the Demon and there's no rhyme or reason, and there's no real change other than the paint. But I think the first time we see Bray Wyatt on Raw or SmackDown, he's coming out as Bray from the Funhouse. And eventually someone's going to get the Fiend, but not right away. Not right away.
Yeah, I wonder how it's going to be. Like, I wonder, will it come off of like a live Firefly Funhouse in the ring? Will it just be Bray Wyatt next week, wrestles? Like, I wonder how we transition from where we are to where we have to get to.
I know. That's the law of the jungle, you dumb bunny.
But the fun thing is we don't have to sit and think about it. That's not our jobs.
Right. And I think it's coming. I think they were waiting till after Saudi Arabia. And I think Stomping Ground we're going to get. I really do feel like Stomping Ground we're going to get Bray Wyatt.
Do you know when that is? I forget.
2 weeks. They keep saying 2 weeks away, so it's coming up.
So not this weekend, but the next. Like, meaning we have predictions next week.
Pretty sure. Let me look at the date here. Stomping Ground date. June 23rd.
Okay, yeah, that is next weekend. Interesting. Okay, this show, by the way, it's not possible for it to have a strong build at this point. They
can't. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we have 2 weeks of television, don't we?
Right.
So we don't have predictions next week.
No. Okay. Right. No, one more week of television at least. Yeah.
Okay. It still won't be what it should be. The only people that have been building towards Stomping Ground is the women.
Yeah, it's 11 days away.
Oh, then we do have predictions next weekend.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up.
Sure.
There's still no way. I mean, they've only been building this for 1 week on TV and 2 weeks total.
Right. But I mean, some of the matches that they have been building, or it's a continuation of a build. Like you've got Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. That's on the card. You've got Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston in a cage.
Okay.
So that's a continuation. So far, I'm not upset with any of this. Then you've got the Seth Rollins, Baron Corbin with a special referee that I assume is Sami Zayn, but it could be anybody. He can handpick anybody yet. He hasn't officially named who that will be.
Going to say pass on that one.
I mean, they found a way to make it at least
different,
more interesting than just a regular Rollins, Baron Corbin.
Like I'm on the fence with Reigns and McIntyre, and I'm on the fence with Rollins and Corbin. So I'm going to pass on that last one.
You have Bayley defending her championship against Alexa Bliss, which is only interesting to me because Alexa is still like she doesn't seem like she's super cleared.
What do you mean?
Well, like she wrestles a little bit, or they book her in these matches, but she doesn't do a lot. And every time I hear about her, I hear that she's injured more than they're saying. And
I feel like it will be. My understanding is she's good to go, but I might be wrong.
Then you have Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans.
Okay, that
their segment was tough to watch.
Lacey Evans, if you like the way she looks, I thought that it was good for you on.
It was amazing to look at, but to listen to them, I don't know why they're Stop over scripting Becky Lynch. Just let her go.
Well, that's the thing, was you have to make it a blanket rule or you don't. And I know what everyone watching this, including you, would feel. You would feel like stop scripting it.
Stop over scripting it. I feel like some of these people need an outline, and they do. You've got to. Everyone should have an outline.
Sure. Bullet points.
I don't write my breaks out. Do you write your breaks out? Even when I was doing afternoons, I never wrote them out. I'd write bullet points, keywords. If I had a line I really, really wanted to nail, I would write the line at the end as a reminder, so I don't brain fart it away. But I'm not writing a script. I'm not doing it. And what happens is you've got these performers, they get in the ring and the crowd does something or something changes, and then they just either bulldoze the spontaneous moment that could be golden with the script, or they lose their place like Braun Strowman has in the past, or remember when Roman Reigns got shook and he lost his place, and they're too concerned with finding their place again so they can cue the next person out than just cutting a promo and getting people going.
And these promos are such an important part of the product, and they can really set wrestlers apart from each other, but we can't if we're not letting them.
Yeah.
You know, like that's where, like someone like Steve Austin, when he was making that transition from the Ringmaster to Stone Cold, would not have excelled. He would not have become a thing that defined a wrestling generation if he was being scripted. It would not have happened.
Nobody wrote the line, Austin 3:16 says, "I just whooped your ass." That came out of his head.
Correct.
And if they had written that down, I guarantee they would have watered that crap down.
Right. Or if you would have asked for approval, they may have said, "Hey, it's got religious connotations. Let's work on something different," or whatever.
Sure.
Like that's the perfect example. Is it just wouldn't have worked?
Sure. And then every once in a while, you let them go and you get an Ultimate Warrior promo. I mean, I get it. There's good and there's bad, but it's better to say, I say it's better to let them roll.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you can't cut a promo, like maybe this isn't the place for you.
That's part of the job.
Yeah. Like, okay, for me, like I bet you I could go in and have the promo cutting part down of being a wrestler, but my body looks like this. I look like the fat guy on my shirt. That's what I look like. And so I have a different portion down, but I don't have the body part down. So maybe being a wrestler isn't right for me.
There are some people that they can get away with not being a good promo because they fix it in work rate or appearance. And Chris Benoit's a good example of this.
Sure.
No one ever talks about him, but that dude couldn't talk for crap.
Brock Lesnar's kind of a good example.
Yeah, but you know what you do? You give them a mouthpiece. This is why managers were so important in the 80s. Because if you didn't have someone who could cut a Macho Man Randy Savage promo, well then you'd go ahead and you'd give him a man. You'd give him Jimmy Hart. You'd give him Jimmy Hart.
Give him Bobby Heenan.
Give him Heenan. Let Heenan talk. Listen, Haku wasn't cutting great promos. He didn't need to.
No. You knew if you ran into Haku in an alley, you'd cross the street.
You take a bare foot right to the lips, and that's the end of it.
You know, if you were working out at McDonald's and it was closing time and the Wild Samoans came rolling up, you better barricade the doors or open back up.
Close the windows. especially if Cornette's in the car.
Well, do you know that story about the Wild Samoans attacking people at a McDonald's for closing?
I don't. I thought you were just coming up with a really cool example. Is that a real?
It's a real thing. I may have something about that wrong, but it's something like that. If anyone knows, please feel free to chime in.
So the Wild Samoans roll up to a McDonald's and they don't serve them, so they lose their stuff. They go a Wild Samoan on them.
The way I remember the story is the Wild Samoans went up to a McDonald's right after closing time. The employees wouldn't open up, and the way I remember it is the Samoans threw stuff through the windows and broke the windows and got in trouble for it. It could have been the head shrinkers. It could have been Kenru and Katoa, or what. I think it was the Samoans. I don't know.
I mean, that's the show they put on, you put on the network. I mean, now you've just got them. Oh, my GPS guy has me lost, Seamus, and it's Road Trip or whatever it is.
Yeah, Road Trip.
Forget it. No, I want to see that. I want to see, man. Wrestling in the 80s was the best.
Table for three should be set in a McDonald's with 3 Samoans.
And then right in the middle of the episode, they tell them they're closed.
They all use puns like, I know why I'm hungry. Open up. Because all their last names are Anawai.
I got that. I got that. I thought their last name was Reigns. I'm sorry.
If they're not Anawais, they're all Fatus.
What's your name? Yokozuna Anawai. Thank you very much.
Anawai am named Fatu.
I thought that dude was Japanese. They did such a good job with Yokozuna.
Right? I agree. Yokozuna is still like my favorite big man.
You should put him in a diaper and give him a bun. He looks so Filipino, and yet I was sold as a 9-year-old. I was like, oh, he's so Japanese. They put him next to Mr. Fuji, who's for real Japanese. They look nothing. They look nothing alike. Yet I'm convinced this guy's a sumo. Yokozuna and Bret Hart, still one of my favorite things.
Yokozuna and anybody, he was so believable as a monster. Like, I remember because when I started watching wrestling, it was like Yokozuna time.
They don't have guys shaped like that anymore. You don't see any Yokozuna.
No, and I miss it.
That's because because you can't have somebody shaped like Yokozuna show up at the Performance Center and do 100 burpees. It's not going to happen.
Well, Yokozuna was like the guy that, like, if I was playing a Super Nintendo game, I'd be like, if I was playing with my friend, like, you can't pick Yokozuna. That's not fair. It's like, that's what it was like. It was all, he had the bonsai drop. Like, they utilized his size perfectly. And sure, he died before he was 40, but that's part of the game.
Now people are like, hey, Kevin Owens, you're fat. And I'm like, have we not been watching wrestling? Have you never seen him duel the Butcher?
Look at Kamala. Look at Earthquake. Look at Tugboats. Look at Yoko. Those are what fat wrestlers are supposed to look like.
Coco Beware wasn't fat.
I said Yoko.
Oh, Yoko.
Yeah.
I said, look at Coco. I'm like, come on, quit body shaming Coco.
We can make like a celebrity couple like Coco-Zuna or like Yoko Beware.
This episode is your fault, SmackDown. If you were even halfway interesting.
I was going to say, is there much we need to talk about? Like,
I mean, listen, Bray Wyatt was awesome.
Sure.
What else am I getting? What else am I getting from Raw? Lars Sullivan again? Oh my God.
Owens and Zayn were okay. Loved. Okay, so I like that when Sammy was a guest referee, he was a guest referee. Like, I loved how he, first of all, the line of "You don't touch me like that" when Kevin Owens was talking to the other referee. So yeah. Sami Zayn, he spends like 5 minutes patting down Seth Rollins to make sure he's got nothing on him. Spends like 2 seconds on Kevin Owens, and Kevin says to the other official, "You don't touch me like that." I thought that was great. And just the stuff that Sammy's antics with that referee shirt on, he did a great job. He knocked it out the park.
They did a wonderful job, and I was glad to see them again on SmackDown. Like, those are guys that I don't mind seeing.
I also want to say, at least for match quality, unfortunately, there's really no storyline behind it. But for match quality, my feud of the year right now is Ricochet and Cesaro.
Cesaro just clocked them.
I love their chemistry. Every match they have had on Raw, unfortunately, it's had no heat really or nothing behind it except for, it was like a rubber match, I guess, the past time. But
because they're not writing a story. If anything, they took 6 dudes that they don't have stories for, and the Miz, Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, Samoa Joe, Cesaro, and Ricochet. They waterfall promo them out. They're all now fighting for the U.S. Yeah.
The waterfall promos. It's just like, oh, now whose turn is it? I got my catchphrase in. Now it's someone else's turn.
The only thing that can make a waterfall promo worse is when they turn it into a 6-man tag, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, and that is what happened. But I will say I like that. Oh, you know what? I wanted to say also that something that's, I don't want to say it's bothering me, but it is. So I'm a fan of the 24/7 title. I'm an unabashed fan. I know it's weird. I know that it's not believable, but it's very Attitude Era, and it hits me in the right place the way they're doing it. Why is literally the only move that happens in a 24/7 segment a weird roll-up, like schoolboy style?
No one's getting hurt. No one's getting hit. There's nothing hardcore about this.
Every single, I want to say just move, like the only move you ever see is a surprise roll-up.
I know.
Weird. Like, why? It's weird. It's performed the same way every time, but I'm still digging the craziness of it. Like, I liked him getting locked in the box yesterday. I like the stuff on the plane. I like the stuff on the golf course. It's all roll-ups, but whatever. It's
all roll-ups. I like the when I saw the shot of all those dudes in Carmella in the elevator, I knew that by the end of the night, someone was going to take a screenshot of that and put a Brazzers logo on it, and they did.
Or just replace all the faces to be faces of guys that she's allegedly been with. It's like, here's
all Corey Graves.
It's Cass, Corey Graves, John Cena. The most awkward elevator ride.
And then just put like a Paul Heyman on there too.
Just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I watched John Cena host Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
How'd he do?
He's not bad. He's really not bad.
I like John Cena. He's looking less like John Cena these days. He and The Rock are going different directions with their movie careers body-wise. Like, John Cena was always yoked up in the WWE, and now he's getting like more human shape, just very fit for his movies. Whereas The Rock was always just like big and normal and muscular in the WWE, but then he goes to the movies and he's like mega rock.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that Hollywood is testing, pal, but I don't know.
Why would they?
I don't know for sure.
I don't think the wrestling should be testing. I don't think baseball should be testing. I say put them all on the roids, make it legal. It's no longer an unfair competitive edge, and let them all just start yoking baseballs out of stadiums again. Make me care about baseball again.
I respect your opinion, but I disagree.
Yoke them up on roids is what I say.
I say keep them all off of it. I'm going to be totally honest, but I mean, whatever.
It doesn't have to be the big old fatty anabolic ones. Just HGH, something to help them heal.
Well, if we're using it responsibly prescribed by a doctor for healing an injury, that's one thing. But I don't think that wrestlers and baseball players have proven that to be possible.
I say use it responsibly by pumping as much of it into your butt cheek as you possibly can with a hypodermic needle that you bought off a dude at a gym somewhere. Like I got this out of a brown paper bag that someone put in my locker at Planet Fitness.
I do not agree with you, but you can, if you want that as your platform. I'm not even working to like cover my butt. I think steroids are gross. I think that they're really, really dangerous to the point that people don't fully comprehend how dangerous they are. And I don't think they should be used that way.
I don't think you're wrong about any of your points. But if I'm honest, and I'm not working either here, this is shoot. If I could afford it, I'd be on steroids right now. I would take steroids today.
But why? You're married, you're a and you're in radio. What's the point?
Because listen, you're going to go through life. You might as well go through life with some yoked up biceps.
Even if it's going to take years off your life.
Whatever. Those are the worst years. Those are the diaper years.
Dude,
I'm going to get rid of those.
The diaper years, sure. But like, dude, these guys died like in their 30s. Like you already outlived Yokozuna and a lot of those guys who were roided up.
They were doing it wrong, and Yokozuna didn't die because he was doing steroids. He
Okay,
died
fine.
because he was 7,000 pounds.
How old was Davey Boy Smith when he died? So I'll look it up. Hold on. I
don't want to debate this because you're right. You're absolutely right.
I know I am, but hold on.
But I still would take steroids.
Davey Boy Smith, give me 1 second. All right, so he was born in 1962 and died in 2002. So that's easy. He was 40. And how old are you, Jerry?
I'm 41.
Okay. So do you see my point now?
I'm sure.
Like Davey Boy Smith died from steroids.
He did too many steroids. And he also had his hair was braided.
Oh, okay. Sure. I'm just saying, you would have died a year ago and I would be devastated and partnerless.
He was British.
Okay, pal. Whatever you have to tell yourself.
How do we know it was the steroids that killed him and not the unsalted food?
He had an enlarged heart.
Okay. I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm actually right, but okay.
You're not wrong.
Someone's going to reach out to you and offer you steroids, and I'm going to be upset about it because I'm going to lose you shortly. And you're in radio. You're in radio. You're married with a family. You want to start pumping that stuff into you?
I work out a lot. Like, it'd be great to just get beefed.
So you worked out healthy and you look great.
Hey, thanks.
That's what I mean.
Just a little steroids. Like HGH.
No, I'm opposed. I didn't mean for this to turn into an intervention, but I'm disappointed.
Right. I don't need an intervention. I'm not on steroids. I mean, do I need to take my shirt off to prove it to you? I'm not on roids.
Well, I'm not opposed to that either.
Okay. I don't know if there's anything else to talk about.
We talked about wrestling this week. We got to the important things.
Speaking of steroids, happy birthday, Mark Henry.
See, that's the thing. If you don't work out, you can wind up looking like, it just kind of puts on weight.
Happy birthday, Jerry Lynn.
Anybody else?
Not till tomorrow. And then we've got Virgil and Headbanger Thrasher.
I don't think we have an episode tomorrow, so I bet you we're okay.
Chuck Palumbo's on the 15th.
Anybody else?
Brad Armstrong. He knows Paige.
That's Brad Maddox.
Oh.
Brad. Which one's Road Dogg? That's Brian James.
That's Brian James. But he's an Armstrong.
Yeah. It's like his brother or his dad. It's not Bullet Bob, though.
Brad Armstrong also had sex with Paige. I'm convinced of it.
Listen, before this gets any more out of control, happy birthday, Virgil, for myself, the Rob, and the hopefully not roided up Jerry Valeri. We will talk to you again at a later date, probably Tuesday.
Get some roids! Come on, let's get some roids!
Don't get roids.